back to the next episode of the Confluence. We're on episode 3. I'm joined with Sivith and Sharon. So introduce yourself, Sharon.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sharanjeet Kaur. I am chairperson and community and continuing education rep at CNC Students Union. I'm a final year semester student in human resource management program.
Perfect, thank you. So today we're going to be kind of going over some topics on COVID, some school stuff, and we'll finish up with that knockout interest campaign going on. So that's about the student loans and having no interest on them. So I guess I'll start off today in the news. The COVID vaccine was released through an age-based system now, which I think has kind of started some controversy around who feels like they should be getting it and how long that's going to take to roll out. I don't know, Sivith, have you heard anything about this from the nurse side of things? Like anything?
No, I just saw it on Instagram, so I didn't. Um, I agree with it. If you'd like my personal opinion on it, I think that when they do make plans when it's related to COVID, there's a lot of scientists involved in it and a lot of physicians involved in it and people from other science disciplinaries. And I think that they make the best educated decisions based on what they think would work so that we can survive COVID. And I trust their recommendation. So I agree with it.
I agree with it too, because uh, because since this thing is so new to everyone, so it's better to rely on sources which we know are qualified enough, and we know that all the decisions which they are going to take are going to be based on their education, because of based on their qualification. And it's better to rely on some trustworthy source and maybe not question that thing.
And I can see why people are frustrated. For example, like I actually have it out right now. I could see someone between the age of like 24 and 18 thinking, well, why can't I get it? And they may think like I want it and I deserve an equal chance of getting it compared to like someone that's 64 to 60, which is in phase 3, and 24 to 18, phase 4. And I think it's just like waiting your turn and being patient. They're gonna get around to everyone.
Yep, that's definitely. I guess I kind of look at it that a lot of the first responders were in line to get them next, but now with this whole change up, now they've been kind of put into like the age-based. So if you have a if you have a paramedic who is between the ages of 25 and wherever the cap is up there, like all of a sudden now they're a little bit less down the line. So that's where I don't know. I've kind of got like, especially with my line of work, like we were told that we were going to get it in February or March, and now that's been pushed. We've been completely taken off that altogether for the foreseeable future. So, but I like you said, I can see, like, you're right. There's scientific decisions being done way above my head and my pay grade. So, but it's I'll be curious to see kind of how like the first responders take that, because I immediately thought about nurses and their situation, and I was it's just like the nurses that are in there, especially like in those kind of those hot spots, right? The ICUs and the intensive cares, and for them, why did it get pushed that is there a tier of first responders that almost should be at a priority higher, like a police officer to a nurse? Like, is there really a difference, and should there be? Like, that's kind of where I was thinking. And I mean, with now they're talking about like by the summertime, like our lives should be kind of back to normal, which I don't know how that's. I think that's a lot of optimism going on.
Yeah, what is normal?
Yeah, what is normal? I know I keep seeing normal, and I'm like, what is that? What is normal now? Like you're just throwing that word around, and it really doesn't mean anything anymore. And now, especially with the vax, for like, imagine summer as a young person.
Yeah.
Like, what is that going to look like, right? If the whole vaccination thing, and not like the vaccine, like once you get it, you're like, okay, I'm good. Like I don't have to follow anything. Obviously, you still need to follow all the protocols. It's not a blanket solution for sure, but it's I don't know. It's sort of difficult that there hasn't been more discussion about kind of they've been talking about how they're gonna roll it out age, but
And there's an if factor, like what if it doesn't, like there's like I think that there is no surety till now, like nothing is dead sure it's okay, so it's all gonna end up okay, and then there's gonna be warning. Nothing like that, right? So things are going to take time too, and like normal, as we say, we might not be able to say it is normal.
that's true. That's true. And like I definitely have seen and read about it's like it's coming out a lot in the school teachers. This that the school teachers are really hard pressed by this because this is right. Like most of their students aren't in the range because these vaccines aren't
Mhm.
haven't been tested for anybody lower or younger than the age of 18,
Yeah.
which is, if you're a high school teacher, right, your students are more than likely below the age of 18, so they will not be vaccinated. And then you as a teacher, not like also not being on a priority list anymore. Like I can definitely see where that's starting to stem kind of some discussions about that. And it seems like there's how masks are sort of mandatory but kind of not, and the schools seem to be having a hard time with it as the rest of the public, I would say, is still struggling with it. Like, I mean, we obviously still see people that wear masks like this, right? We're still running into that problem. Like that
Yeah.
happens all the time, and you're like,
Yeah, it happens
okay,
all the time.
it's like
No
it's not
doubt, it
it,
happens. Like I'm in customer service, and I see that all the time in the retail stores and all. Like, yeah, people are like, okay, like they are just fulfilling the basic function of wearing a mask. They're not understanding the purpose of it even, and sometimes like they're just ignoring the fact that they are not fulfilling the purpose of wearing a mask.
Mhm.
and like I can only imagine with like children in school too. Like it's hard, right? Like you're not gonna how are you gonna explain to children that are learning, like especially in the elementary schools, how are you gonna, you know, these kids, run around, tag, give each other hugs. Like they know like the personal bubble, but at the same time, for it, when you were a child, you weren't really like, ooh, like I don't want you in my bubble. Like, like kids, they're a lot more, they stick together, right?
Yeah,
So
more
it's
affectionate kind of thing for them.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So, and it's tough. Like I can definitely see kind of where the teachers are coming from with that. Like they almost need more in place, but it's hard to implement, right? And I think like this was, especially from what I read on like Instagram and Facebook, some teachers were really kind of distraught by this. Was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back kind of thing, that they weren't even going to be vaccinated anymore because of not being, in the front line or the essential, all based on age. So it's definitely like an interesting kind of thing to track and follow as it goes on. And I mean, Moderna and Pfizer, like the two vaccines companies, I mean, they're pumping out as many, doses that they can, but they're still running behind on the Canadian side. Like we're not where we should be. So it'll be interesting to kind of see, like, as the months go by, are we going to keep getting the orders fulfilled, and are we going to be able to keep up with the dosage, or is that going to start, if one dosage is too short, too late, so there's a lot of moving parts there. But I think the age-based system will work as long as that they're able to keep up with it. Because the only thing that I see kind of being an issue is if they all of a sudden are going through like they're taking care of the elderly, and then they run out, and then they can't supply Canada with any more of them.
And I think that there should be more communication. Like there should not be any doubts in minds of people. There should be like wholesome communication, promotion regarding everything. All doubts should be cleared. No one should feel like this is something not for them or something like that.
Yeah,
There should be more communication about what is being done and how is it being done and why is it being done.
and that's how I felt too when we heard that at work. It was just a blanket statement. It was like, well, we're not getting vaccines. We're gonna have to wait. And we're like, what? Like we were in line, like we were, but like you said, there's no communication, right? It's just, little, a news article here and a
Yeah.
Bonnie Henry presentation here, and there's it's like trying to fill in the gaps between all that to just to be able to. Because I meant, for me, I was like, okay, well, whatever, life goes on, like, right, we still take the precautions, right? It doesn't mean, oh, well, now that we don't get a vaccine, that's it, I'm not going to stop wearing a mask and it's all out the window. Like, that's not what it means. Like, we still go on with how we're doing right now. But it's it's frustrating, right? Like when it's just like with anything. If you have a plan and then the plan gets pulled out from underneath you, you're like, oh well, what do I do now? And then, like you said, Sharon, with less communication, right? Then you're left there with no communication, and you're not really sure where to go from there.
Yeah.
I find everything you guys are saying very interesting. I disagree with a lot of the things. First off, I think that um, people will never completely be fulfilled. And at some point, someone would have said, you know what, there's not enough information. And I still don't feel like there's enough communication. You know what? There are people that are married for 20 years and still go to marriage counseling because they're not communicating. So, how
That
is
is fair.
the one
I
that
like
has
it.
to deal with one person who they're married to and they can't communicate with them, and that's the only person they have to deal with? Imagine now there's a couple people that are in the front lines that are trying to be like, trying to get the information out. How are they supposed to understand and read the minds of billions of people? That's my first statement. My second statement is, no matter what the government of BC would have said with the immunization plan, someone would have had a problem with it. First off, we know vaccines are effective. Studies have proven that. Science has proven that. Yet there are still people that don't get vaccinated and don't vaccinate their children. So now, and there is a lot of science behind it. Okay. So now, when they've come out with a COVID vaccine, which everyone wanted, now they're putting it out and getting people to get the vaccine. And now people are saying, you didn't give us enough information. Well, are you ever going to be satisfied? Well,
That's
not even
fair.
just you guys, but the general public. That's the second thing I want to say. The third thing I want to say is, like, I think that there are people that have questions and they are doing their best to answer them. If you guys are sitting here saying you guys have these questions, imagine the billions of people that are rioting, billions of people that are sending the messages, people are sending emails, and that are like just bombarding them. At what point do we have to trust our government? We elected this government. We elected these people to make these decisions for us. That's how the country works.
Yep.
And that's how we choose to live here, right? So I think that we are better off trusting the people that we elected to make these decisions. And if you don't trust the vaccine, it's not mandated. Not yet.
Not yet.
And you know what?
But
And if it, one second, I'm not done yet. Yeah, it's not mandated. So there's no point of even crossing the bridge of like thinking what that's mandated. It's not there yet. The vaccine's an option. And so, yeah, the nurses are on the front lines. You know how many nurses have to stay away from their families, from their spouses, from their newborns, because we didn't know what COVID was, so they could take care of people? And you know what? So that's my other issue is like, so yes, they very well deserve it. I understand that everyone else did too, but when we didn't know what the vaccine was and we were terrified and in our houses, in our little bubble, when we had the option to quarantine, those people didn't. They had 4, 5, 6 kids at home. 1 or 2 is an option too. They had husbands and wives to take care of. They had newborns. Some of them were pregnant and they were working, and none of us knew what the vaccine was. And we had the option to quarantine in our house and stay in our bubble until more science was done about it. And another point I want to make is, yeah, they are saying that people under 18 can't get the vaccine. It's because they obviously don't have enough science to be able to provide them the vaccine. What right mind and what government would want to keep a vaccine from someone in their right mind if they knew it was safe? Obviously, there's enough evidence and science saying it's not safe for them. And these parents that are complaining, oh, our kid's not getting a vaccine, are going to be the exact same people trying to sue our government if something happens to their kid. So no, these parents are not thinking they're thinking my kid's not vaccinated and I'm going to get vaccinated. These teachers are thinking that. Obviously, they're not getting vaccinated for a reason. Have we thought of that? You know, it's so easy to go and bash the government and bash the plan that has been put in place. And you know what? I can tell you now, when my mom is mad, she's on freaking fire. So now imagine billions of parents that are on fire because that vaccine hurt their kid. So the reason they're not getting vaccinated is to keep them safe, which I know is kind of ironic because we're keeping them safe by not vaccinating them from COVID. But that's the reality. We know that the youngest people are up a new coming generation. We wouldn't want to kill them off. They're not trying to kill them off.
Yeah,
And when
no,
people
for sure.
say, and like when you said that, what if they run out of the vaccines when they were like when after they're done vaccinating the seniors and the elderly people? Well, you know what? They're actually one of the most vulnerable population. So the reality and the truth is they deserve it. Why? Because we need them too. And think about how many sacrifices our parents make for us. And all we've been asked to do is quarantine and follow the rules.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
for sure. Like I definitely like back to what I was saying, like about like the elderly. Like I hope that they just like are able to just serve, like when they do have like that age group, that they're able to tackle that whole age group, like really focus on it and then be able to take it and like not distribute, like that's what like kind of was trying to say, like it was not to like just take them and kind of just put vaccines like in odd places, like not just in little groups. Like it's better to just stockpile them all and then use them all for one age group, right? Like the most vulnerable, let's get them all, you know, kind of thing. Like especially like the elderly, that's what I'm worried about. I was like, well, like what if they run out halfway through the elderly, right? Then you have half vaccinated elderly. Like it'd be almost better to say everybody under this age range, like you're gonna have to wait so that we can deal with this entire upper age range, you know, because in like you said, like in the retirement homes and the care centers, like that's where they're seeing a lot of devastation. It's not at necessarily down at our level as much, like in our sort of age range, that we see these, you know, these care homes and these retirement homes just getting really affected by it. And like I really hope that with the vaccines that they're able to just take that and really coordinate efforts to try to move them to the most vulnerable and start working on those, because like you said, like the kids, they're not going to get vaccinated, but they're going to be fine, right? Like it's like you said, they're not there to, you know, give them a vaccine that could hurt them, right? That's not the, like you said, we're not here going after the younger generation here. That's not the point. And I imagine, you know, just with anything, you know, like, you know, babies get vaccines when they're newborn and as they grow, right? Because they were able to make it safe for younger, you know. So it'll be kind of interesting to see like kind of where it goes. And like I think
and and the way you are saying it, Zafit, that just because this government has been elected by people, so they should be trusted upon, that that sounds more like of a dictatorship kind of thing. It's not democracy. In democracy, you are always answerable to the people you are working for. You are representing them. They have elected you, and your every decision is answerable to them. Like you can be asked about what you are doing and why you are doing it. Like if just because they have been elected by people, it doesn't that they can do anything they want. It would be more like okay, so I'm in the ruling group and I can make this rule. So it's more like the communication should be there. People shouldn't feel like they are being left out, right? In
Karen,
any in any
look
thing.
right here. I have it open. The government of BC on Instagram. People ask questions and the government of BC is answering it. So I
Yeah,
think
and
you
this
should
is
hop on here and ask your questions because as
yeah,
you can
and this
see,
should be done, and it should be done.
and that's what our government is doing right here.
Yeah,
You can look at it. Go on
yeah.
Instagram right
I'm
now.
I'm
Yeah.
just telling you that we cannot say that this government has been elected so they should be trusted upon making decisions. In any decision they make, they are answerable to the people who have elected them, and they should be communicating their every strategy, every decision to them in a way that it's understandable to people. And yes, all concerns should be answered. I feel
Yeah,
like
but
that.
look, they are. Look
Yeah,
on Instagram.
yeah,
But you can see like they are answering them. And if you click on one of them,
yeah,
they
yeah.
are
And
answering the questions and
and
they're
you know,
tagging them. So they
That
are actually doing
that's
that.
a good thing about our government. Yeah, that they are actually answering people. Yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah,
So that's the answer to your question is they are answering them.
yeah. But I'm just making point here that you said that communication is not something which is required, but it is required, and
Oh, I 100% think it's required. I'm saying
that it
that I
yeah
use
it
the marriage
just because
example because if
yeah just because it
if
won't
one
be sufficient or enough for everyone, like there will always be doubts about things, so it doesn't mean that we cannot do the communication, that we shouldn't do it, like
oh,
it
they're
should be done.
communicating
Yeah,
though. They're
yeah,
not just communicating, they're trying to answer people's questions. They
yeah,
are trying. And you can
yeah,
see that from the social media platforms. You can see that because they are going on TV and answering questions.
yeah, and it
Go
should be.
scroll through
Yeah,
their Instagram, scroll through Government of BC
yeah,
Space
I
Squad.
follow the page too, I
Yeah,
know
so
that.
they are
Yeah,
answering them.
yeah,
Yeah, they are answering them. And you know what? They're trying to get to everyone's questions. And that's why they even have Q&As. They are trying.
yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
But like it's been brought up before, discussions like these are important.
Oh,
It starts
100%.
at this level,
Yes,
like it's
Yeah.
you know
How do
it,
you educate
obviously.
yourself if you're not answering questions? How do you educate yourself if you're not getting answers to your questions?
Yeah,
But you have to dig deeper than people's biases and just going around and talking about, oh, I can't believe the government's doing this. No, go make informed decisions about your answers and questions by educating yourself because there is a lot of information about out there about the vaccine. And if someone's
plus,
that
yeah,
afraid of it, don't get it.
yeah,
It's not mandated.
yeah,
So
every
there's
person
another
should
answer.
be making attempts on their own side. Yeah, everyone should be making.
Totally.
Yeah,
No one's going to walk to anyone's door and say, let me
yeah,
educate you about the vaccine. That's not how the world works.
that is true. That is true.
Yeah.
I'd be curious to see down in the comments below if you guys have your opinions too, viewers. We'd love to hear them. Get the discussion going. I mean, it's
And
got to
tag us. We
yeah,
don't want to
and
see
tag
what
us.
y'all
Yes,
are
tag
thinking.
us
yeah.
in
We're getting
We
riled
would
up.
love to. Yeah,
because like it does start at this level, right? Like, and how many students or young people just like us have had this discussion, that have sat down and really all have had different views and come from different backgrounds and kind of ideas, and right, this is how
and
nations this
how
is how
different
nations
people
are made, you know.
how different people see things differently.
Mhm.
There may be no wrongs or right, but there may be different things. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's
Oh
always going
no,
to be.
there are wrongs and rights, in my opinion.
There is
Yeah.
never this. I think there is never a
Things
clear
are always
line.
open up to discussion, and you can choose not to believe something, and you can choose not to take an opinion. But there's wrong and rights in everyone's world. Because if there weren't wrong and rights, the world wouldn't be where it's at today. Because then what are you fighting for if you don't know what's wrong and right? Right?
Fair enough.
Think about
Fair
that.
enough. That's
Thoughts
deep.
for
That's
days,
that's
y'all.
deep. That's deep right there.
I know. Zach,
Oh,
you know we're pro at getting
yeah.
deep.
Oh God, I'm not ready for going deep again. I'm not ready. I can't handle it.
Put your hands up.
Yeah. I can't do it.
Just
Can't handle it.
surrender.
Oh my God, I can't handle it. Can't handle it.
Well,
All right. Well, now
what's next on the agenda?
back to some more local campus news.
Uh-huh.
For the students that have been on campus, you may have seen that the new lecture theater has been finished. It's renovated. If you guys had the misfortune of seeing what it looked like before, it looked like it came right out of the 70s, and the chairs felt like they came out of the 70s too. But now, if you look on their website, they have photos posted up, and hopefully they'll be opening it up soon to speakers, or we were discussing having poetry readings or something there. Having a new space to for students to use, and it looks great. So if anybody's planning on taking a film course, kind of depending if the film course is offered in person or online, I'm not even sure. If they do, I know my film course got cut like 3 weeks into the semester because they started re-renovating it.
Oh no.
I ended up enjoying my film course in the geography room, which
Oh, snap.
had worse chairs than the 70s theater room. So
Are you getting paid to promote it?
I hope so. I hope so. I hope there's a chair with a plaque on it that says that I promoted this. So I'll make sure. I'll go in there. I'll put a plaque on it. It's fine.
Oh, it says paid advertisement right
Yeah,
above your
paid
picture.
advertisement. The Confluence podcast. It'll be in gold right across there. It'll be front row
We have
seats.
sponsors.
And I guess another thing that's come up is now CNC is offering an online booking service for anybody who's looking to get either an appointment with the registrar's office, which especially when the semester's starting and you're trying to drop courses, switch courses, like that's a nightmare. And even before COVID, there used to be lineups that would be down the hall and out the door. I don't know if you guys remember that. The registrar's office having lineups that it just seemed like they never ended. So now they offer an app. It's called QLess, and you can download it from the App Store or the Android store. And that lets you just be able to register for appointments, so that now you can actually set up a time to go see either the library, the registrar's office, tutoring, the wellness coach, academic advising. So if you're having trouble with your courses, or kind of what you want to do, or where you need to go with your courses, especially when you get into the kind of the second semester, the first year, or into the second year, sometimes you don't know which classes you have left to take and which direction, and sometimes courses don't match up. So it's definitely good to get into academic advising and financial aid as well. Get into those bursaries, a little extra.
I agree.
Apply
Free
for them.
money.
Free money. Yes, come on. Like, if that doesn't psych you up, I don't know what will. Free money. Come on, let the school pay for some of your courses. Like, come on.
I agree. I can't believe. Oh, yeah, we should tell people this. Tuition's going up next year. Is that a thing that's been released?
I think so. I didn't want
that has been, because I saw it on CNC page. Damon, I saw that on CNC Facebook page, I guess.
Just cut this out then. That's private. Just cut it out.
I think so. They released it.
Oh, Damon.
Yeah, it's public.
Oh, it's public. Okay.
They released
it's public domain. We're good.
Yeah, because I saw it on Facebook. Yeah.
The fear.
And I'm like,
God.
Shit.
No.
I just released something by accident.
Yeah, Civith just dropped.
The bomb.
Yeah, you just... Oh my God.
I know. I was just like, just cut this information out.
Yeah, it's like WikiLeaks for CNC. Oh no, it came out. Oh God, here it is. Like, uh-oh. So
No,
yeah, tuition. How much is tuition going up? Is there like a percentage, or is it?
Yeah, 2%.
And
what's your opinion on that? It's going up 2% next year.
And it's going on in a situation like where students have been asking us that why are we paying the same fees for online education when we are not attending classes in person? Why are we paying the same fees? And now it has been increased. Imagine how much it's gonna be like. They're gonna be a huge fuss about it. I think so that students are not gonna be liking it.
I hope not. For the first time, I agree with your guys' opinion.
Oh my God.
My God. Against CNC raising tuition. They waste a lot of money. They just, and you know what? At the end of the day, they're making me pay more to educate myself. How does that work? That's like someone saying, Sifit, I just see money sitting around, so why don't you go pay more? First off, so many people have student loans. Second off, so many people can't work. And so many people have dependents at home. So now like they aren't getting as much subsidy, and like now they're stuck with those family and kids and vulnerable people in their family at home that they need to take care of. And on top of that, they're going to school and it's already costing them so much to live due to COVID and like the lifestyle we have to adjust to. And the mental health aspect on top of that. And now they're saying, let's raise tuition because you haven't been through enough.
Yeah, it's also unfair. And I don't know. I don't know their reasons yet, but I would like to know them.
Honestly, they probably added things to the budget that they just need more money for.
And it that 2% definitely adds like a chunk. Like if you're like a student that has like a full semester load, like you're looking at like I'm just roughing it here at like, if your whole semester costs you, 1800 or 1700, you're kind of in that ballpark. Like you're almost paying an extra 350.
People pay like 5,000 for a semester.
Yeah, for international students, it's going to be a lot.
And we're going to be at a deficit for the first time in 10 years.
So is that
That's what Damon said. He just wants everyone to know that.
Is that so? That's going to be a 2% increase across the board for everyone, domestic.
I'm actually doing a math to it right now. So
there you go. Civit's crunching the numbers here. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna get down to the brass tacks here, big time.
So if I paid 5,000 for my tuition, and it goes up by 0.2%, that's $100. That's 2 weeks worth of groceries. An entire phone bill.
It's 2%. It's not 0.2%.
It's 2% for both. So that's $100 a semester. Yeah, interesting. Thoughts for days.
Yeah, that's kind of, and then and then you tack that on to already the higher tuition that an international versus a domestic student will pay, and then you put 2% on that. Like, when does it stop? Like, at what point does I'm honestly
let you in on a secret, Zach? It doesn't. It doesn't stop.
What?
I know.
Oh,
I know.
Sivit, you're throwing some heat tonight.
I know.
Oh my God, it doesn't stop. It never stops. It won't ever stop. You think it's gonna be 2% per year? It's just gonna keep going. Eventually, it'll be you'll be doing a bachelor. You'll be doing an associate's degree that costs you as much as a master's.
Yeah, maybe
someday.
Maybe if you're lucky. It'll be an $80,000 associate's degree.
Oh shit. Oh man, that'd be horrible.
But yeah, back to what Sharon was saying. What do you think about the like that you're paying the same amount, well, and now even more for an online class versus an in-person class?
Yeah, this has been a huge concern for students this semester. I have been hearing so many things, like we are getting like, even some instructors are just posting recorded lectures only. They are not even taking the lectures online, right? So they are feeling like they are paying a lot for this type of education.
Yeah, because I still feel like it's obviously we can't say it's not valuable. Like, education does have a cost at some point. Like, obviously these professors and profs and everybody who works at CNC needs to be able to live a comfortable life, and a wage needs to reflect that, obviously. But yeah, no, I agree. I was hard pressed when I came to a couple of my courses that will remain nameless. But I'd show up on Moodle and I'd open it up, and boom, the entire course was there, all pre-recorded. Every lecture was already done, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess. And it was self-guided. You just do it and make sure you submit submit your papers and your exams, and you're done. But I was like, what?
And this is even stopping some students from continuing their education. Like, there's a co-worker with me at Sportcheck. She wanted to join CNC, but she said that because of this online thing, she doesn't feel like doing it anymore, because she said that I don't want to.
My nursing program has been great.
It's always back to your great nursing program. We're just over here.
Videos. They also have online office hours. They also have Zoom lectures for us, and we also have in-person labs. So we are fortunate enough to get,
because they cannot risk people's lives.
Yeah, so we do have like Zoom lectures. Like, our instructors have been amazing. On top of pre-recorded lectures, they're kicking butt this semester.
So you have pre-recorded and then extra Zooms, like lectures on top that are live.
Yeah, shout out to the nursing instructors for helping us.
Holy, yeah. Well, Civ, it sounds
We
like
do
you're in
pay
a
a lot. We bring a lot of money into the school. Just kidding. They just help us.
yeah. You
Actually,
guys,
I do think though that the trade students and the nursing students bring the most money into the school.
yeah. You think that has something to do with it?
I don't know. Actually, I just think our instructors enjoy trading as well. I have no complaints against the nursing instructors.
Damon has a question. So it's almost like students are being treated very differently. College classism.
I actually think it's just dependent on the instructor and like obviously the nursing instructors are putting in a lot of effort and it's going to go to show in our practice as nurses.
I asked the same thing to one of my instructors. I asked her that there are teachers, there are instructors who are not putting equal efforts. Like she is very, like she's making sure that her every lecture is very engaging, interactive. She conducts polls, she asks us questions online, and she's making them all interactive. I said that there are instructors who are not making such efforts and they're just posting pre-recorded lectures. And what's the point of getting education like this, like when there is no interaction with the teacher? It's like reading a book and giving a test. Like, what's the point of getting an instructor then? It feels like that. And she said that there are the part-time instructors. She said that they are not being paid enough, or they're not getting enough resources to put these kind of efforts. I felt like then this is something to do with the administration and college. Why the students are suffering because of that?
And I think at some point it's gonna be, is this gonna turn into like a rate my prof, type thing, that all of a sudden it's gonna be the profs are now gonna be looked at by how much that they want to put into their courses, right? Because obviously, if we have Prof A and Prof B, and
Yeah.
Prof A is putting, really interactive, you're getting pre-recorded, you're getting live Zoom lectures, you're getting, if you have a lab, or you're getting, office hours, that's obviously going to sit maybe, for some students a lot higher than if you have, you know Professor B that's just, dumps everything on Moodle all at once, and then it's like, well, figure it out and then hand everything in. And I think, like, I know, like, just Sivith, from what you're saying, like, it almost makes me want to go into nursing.
We need more males.
Well, there we go. That's it.
We need more
Done.
male nurses.
You got one.
Yep. No more books.
You know
That's
what,
it.
though?
It's over.
I'd like to challenge you guys' thought because I find it interesting that you guys are saying that, just taking into account that like we also have to think about the fact that like it's a learning curve even for instructors, and they may be thinking that we are providing students with education because we just gave them the lecture we were going to provide in class. Okay? And that's a pre-recorded lecture. Then they're thinking they can email us and we'll respond to all their emails. So then they're like, that takes care of the office hours. So there may be some instructors that honestly just don't know that students need that because students aren't voicing their opinion. Because from my experience as a student, I know that a lot of students talk and don't actually go to the instructor and say, hey, you can improve your course like this, or could you please adjust your course like this? So
Yep,
Sharon,
that's fair.
I think I'd like to challenge you with that this semester. Go to your instructor, talk to them, because they're obviously here to teach you and they want to teach you. And you know what? Like, if they're not getting paid enough or being offered the resources through CNC, I understand that it's the students that are suffering, but there's not much the instructor can do.
I wish there was someone like that in HR, but my instructors are good. Like I'm now in final semester and we are doing a capstone project, so all of my classes are very interactive. I know there are instructors in other courses in business and kinesiology too. I know, and I wish if I could. I raised the same question in the SEM committee too, that these this online education is not uh, fulfilling the basic like need of this college. Like the students come to college for education only. The education is the only purpose they are here. And if it's not, this online education is not making them study well, then what's the point of coming to CNC? And I even gave uh, points like there are few things which can be done on teachers part, and I hope there are some improvements in future.
And I think me and Sibeth have talked before, like especially like we know this, that students have different ways that they learn, right?
Yeah.
And I think that online is really testing that, because you're restricted on what you have for the all the different ways, right? You don't have, if someone's an auditory learner, like, okay, great, like, maybe
Mhm.
the pre-record is good for them, but having someone who needs to ask questions and needs more time to go over things, like, I definitely think that is something that it's definitely testing the student at the level of being resourceful and being resilient to what we have to do right now. and
Mhm.
and I think that's interesting. Like, I think, like, I'm curious to see how that's going to make, like, like, I'm thinking of, like, the students that have come right from high school, and they're come like, this is their first year, first semester. Like, how different and more adaptable are they going to be going into their next 4 8, how many years they're going to be in post secondary? Like, is this first year, this trial through fire year, right? Is this going to be the one that makes them like a more resourceful student, a more resilient student, a student that's going to think outside the box because they had to, right?
Mhm.
I would have never thought, like, would we be here video recording, doing like this platform?
I had a dream
Absolutely not.
about it. I knew we
Like,
were going to be doing that actually.
it's
Thought
just,
for days.
you dreamt this, you saw the inside scoop on this.
Mhm. Yeah, I did.
Because, yeah, like, if like pre-recorded lectures, if someone would have said that to me 2 years ago, I'd have been like, oh, that's great, that's awesome, like, but it's never gonna happen. Like, I mean, you gotta go to, it's like the stereotype, right? You gotta drive to school, you pay for your parking, you go in, you gruel out, an hour and a half, whatever, and then you go to your next class. Like, kind of like the whole way that school is structured now, at least for post-secondary, has almost been completely rewritten now. Like,
Mhm.
I haven't been to the college in, 3 months, 3 4 months. Like, I haven't even touched campus pretty much. Like, it's like, besides having to go into the office every once in a while, like, I haven't been to the bookstore. Didn't need to. Everything that I have, like, all the teachers have put resources online. So it's interesting.
Lucky we paid for ours, so I did have to go to the
Well,
book.
there we go. That's my only benefit. Okay, that's the only thing I got. You can't take that from me. You can't take that from me.
I'm
Sid.
just
You
saying
can't
that, like,
take it from
if
me.
students have such a problem with it, why don't they talk to their instructors and have transparent conversations? I've noticed, at least from like when I've had to talk to people, like teachers want to like help you. That's why they're there. And I'm not disregarding what you guys are saying. I'm just saying that like it's okay to go up to your instructor and be like, "Hey, like I think it'd benefit if you did a live Zoom lecture once a week." Worst case scenarios, they're going to say no. And guess what? You're already in that boat,
Fair enough.
right?
Yeah,
The thing
So
is, the thing
really don't
is,
have much
Safid,
to lose.
the thing is, Safid, like every student is different, right? They all they have like different personalities. Not everyone is confident. Like there are students who might be brilliant, but they must not be saying a single word in their class, because people have different kind of like personalities. And sometimes, like I know about many international students who are not confident enough to even come to us at student union, right? They are not, they feel like uh, they have to say things and they'll have to make us understand. They are not confident enough, so we cannot say like students are not doing it. It's a difficult part for some students too. Not everybody is same. There are some students who, and I think it should be like, in such cases it gets more, it gets more like responsibility of us as reps to do
hmm
these kind of things. Like we should be the one doing this for them because we are representing them,
Yeah,
right?
no, I don't disagree with you. I'm just saying that, like, if it's
Yeah.
such a big thing, the students are saying, you know what, like, at the end of the day, the instructor can't read the student's mind. So if that student's not going to bring a concern to them, they don't know that's a concern to be brought up, right? That's just like we don't know if there's a concern even as reps if it's not brought to our attention, right?
No, that's
So
yeah.
all I'm saying is like in order for something to happen, you have to talk about it and you have to say something. It's
And I
just
think,
another
like,
way to look at it.
And I think it's
I know
important,
that
like,
not everyone's confident and able to go up to someone and be like, yo, this is how I'm feeling, or this is what I need out of my education. I'm just saying that, like, a lot of students are doing like the talking and not actually coming forward with their concerns. And at the end of the day, the instructor may not know. I'm not saying they don't know, I say they may not know.
yeah, and I think like what Sharon said too is important. Like, from us, right, being representatives and being
Mm-hmm.
the faces of, especially like the student union. Like, I think it's important for us to to be accountable. To be able to
Just like
also hold, to do that, right, to be the voice
yeah,
of, like, for anybody who's out there listening, like, follow what Civith is saying. If that's
Yeah.
how you want to go for it, you go for it. Like, don't, you know that's just what you have to do. Like, if you really do feel that strongly about something about
Yeah.
your course, and you do have the confidence to approach your instructor in a respectable way, let me point that out. Disclaimers,
Very
this is
respectable.
very respectable. This is not, let's put them on blast. This is not,
Yeah.
this is not what we're doing. But it's once again, right? Like, it's
And if you feel the way Sharon is describing the students are feeling, then come to the student rep and we'll help you. So you have resources and there are answers.
yeah. Like, I
And
know
there is help out there.
last semester I had to, because
all ears, and
there was
I'm ready to put any effort required for anything.
yeah, like last semester, I had to actually approach a prof that I will remain nameless, due to comments about certain other students and their grades and academics being posted publicly on Moodle, which I did not think was very appropriate, especially kind of in the context that everybody can read that, and it kind of was in a
For
way
sure.
sort of harassment of other students that were maybe struggling, right, with, and especially like when you look at struggling, right, like, where is it that someone, you can't just put struggle, like that's just one thing, boom. Like, they could be struggling, like Civis said, you're at home trying to take care of somebody right now who's, is can be affected by what's going on just in the world right now. Like, you can be put into tough situations, like, even outside of the school realm completely, like, trying to find a job right now, trying to keep a job right now, like just having those stressors, right, and it
Yeah.
makes for really a challenging time to try to juggle everything together with academics. So to have, like, even the little things like this that I just didn't see right, and when I approached that prof, I actually had to take it up higher up the line, to higher up into the CNC hierarchy, which I didn't think I was going to have to take it that far, but it did have to go that far because there was just nothing being done about it. And I think, like, once again, like, if anybody's listening and this is you, like, reach out to any of us, like, message me personally on, drop it in the comments below, like, reach out to us in any way that you can, like.
Yes, regarding anything you feel like, anything, any concern, anything you may feel like it's not important or you may sound stupid, there's nothing like that. We are all ears. You can come to us for anything or even saying hi. We don't mind. So we are all ears. We would love to hear to students their concerns and everything and make every attempt possible to help them.
And I mean, that's what
And
we're
we
here
have
for.
free food outside the office.
Boom, there we go. Sold it. Sold. Yes.
Food.
Food.
Free.
Food. That's what we need.
Free.
Free. All right. Well, we have 2 submissions this week that came into us for this episode, so let's show them off.
I'm ready.
Let's take a look. We have 1 drawing and 1 photograph. So.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here. Starting off with the drawing or the photo?
Let's do the drawing.
Okie dokie. Coming right on up. As I'm always prepared.
Uh-huh.
I mean, come on. We're good, right? There you go.
Oh, that's beautiful.
This comes in from Anjapal Singh. So we've seen his works before. In the previous episode, he had drawn that supercar that we had. So I know,
Ah.
right? Supercar to this, like, this is a very talented individual. So,
Yeah, I just like picture myself having a really bad day and just standing there thinking, what the blankety blank just happened today. That's what this picture reminds me of.
Can you relate with this picture?
Oh yeah.
I think
You've
we
never
all
had
can.
that bad day where you just come home and you're like, whoo, and you just have to stand there just so you can breathe, catch your breath, and just like rationally think of what just happened.
Yeah, if you haven't had a day where you've leaned up against the door and then slowly slid down till you sat on the floor, you haven't lived yet.
Yeah, and you want to think about all the things you have been doing.
Yeah, it's a deep picture.
Yeah, it's nice. A good piece of art.
All right, Damon, on to the next photo.
My
Fine, I
teeth
guess
look so white.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, Simith, I was about to mention, what are you doing teeth wise?
Sensodyne toothpaste.
Are you like?
She just went to Sharon. That's what happened.
Yeah, what is? God, that's it. I'm gonna put on 40 Crest white strips tonight, and you're not. It's gonna be blinding for the next episode. I won't even have teeth. It'll just be gone. That's it.
Maybe it's genetics. You're
Yeah,
just
maybe.
missing them.
Oh, thanks.
On that note, we're going to the next one. There we go.
Oh, Zach, we're ending it after the pictures.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, you read the comments?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you ignored the comments.
No, I pull them up from time to time just to make sure. But thank you. Thanks for that recap. Appreciate that.
I
okay.
love this picture. Where was it taken?
She didn't say, but I'm gonna reach out to her and try to figure out because she has a couple other pictures that I can't really tell where they're from. I think they must be in the area of
I think
Jasper,
it's like
somewhere.
yeah,
in there.
it is on the way to Jasper. Yeah, I have seen this. Yeah.
So I thought this one was a good one today, especially with kind of that cold snap we got going on today with a little bit of snow dusting out. I was like, okay, mountains with snow, that's what we need.
I just really like how like you can see the mountain's shadow in the picture in the water.
Yep. Yeah, and I'm not
It
sure
just looks beautiful.
which mountain this is, but it's a stunning mountain for sure, and it's got to be near Jasper. It's got to be like we don't have that many nice close-up mountains like this.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Oh, I do know the mountain's name.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah, it's Mountain Sifith. It's named after me. Just kidding.
It's Mountain Stiveth. Oh my God. Well, if anybody's taking other pictures of Mountain Siveth and you want to send them in, feel free, send them in, editor@cncsu.ca.
It should be copyrighted.
Yeah, it should be copyright. Yeah, come on, Siveth copyright.
Yeah.
This is your mountain.
I'll get right on that.
Yeah, you'll get right on that. Well, that's it for us on episode 3 of the Confluence. Thanks, Sharon, for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. No hard feelings. It was all just a conversation.
And that's what it's all about. It's about the conversations.
Exactly.
That's what this podcast is about. Conversations. The good ones, the bad ones, the ugly ones, and the kind ones. And the deep ones. We're hitting everything. We're not scared. We'll get into them, This is only episode 3. We got many more to go here.
I know. Oh, geez.
And as always, guys, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and also hit that notification bell so you don't miss an episode. And make sure to check out the cncsu.ca/confluence website to see writing from various authors around CNC. And as well, if you do want to submit your work to us here on the Confluence podcast, you can send it in at editor@cncsu.ca.
Have a good day, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.
That
Thank
post
you.
is made by Emma Bolt.